what's the deal? You wanna watch Netflix and chill?
What's up, guys? It is Carly here, bringing you episode number 19 of the Netflix and Chill horror podcast. As always, I am joined by the homie JP. How are you doing, JP?
Yo, what up? We are back in the flesh, in the audio flesh. That would be a cool band name, Audio Flesh.
Yeah, it would. We should start it.
I came up with that.
Okay, good for you.
All right, I'm gonna play the drums.
I guess that leaves me with the guitar.
Yeah, but you suck at guitar.
I tried to learn the bass once. I did okay. I didn't really do that well.
Okay, well, just so you know, and maybe the listeners know, if I leave for a second, it's because I ordered food, and I'm gonna need to go get that.
Like a dumb ass.
No. I'm not a dumbass. Just hungry ass.
You could have ordered food at any time, not in the middle of recording with your homie.
I wasn't in the middle of recording. It was before recording.
Great, now we have like 10 minutes till it comes, probably.
Yeah, right. They're never on time. They said 45 minutes, so that means an hour.
Okay.
So, what you been up to?
Not much. I guess kind of much. I got a new job, so I left JP behind and moved on in life and started this new job last week. So I've been trying to learn that, and I like it. The only thing is, like, I've been so tired every day, and either that or I've been doing stuff after work, and I haven't really watched any movies. And if I have, I've like started them and then not finished them.
See,
so it kind of
I knew
sucks.
this was gonna happen. I called it. Guys,
What?
I was right.
Who's the guys that you were right to, dude?
The listeners.
What do you mean? Right about what?
I said that once you leave from my vicinity, you would stop watching movies. And you would slowly stop. You would start by just not watching as many. Then you would watch, a significantly less amount. And then you would stop altogether.
Okay, dude, but like it's not that I am not wanting to watch them. Like I have a giant pile and I'm depressed because I keep looking at it thinking I want to watch all that stuff. But like I now work, like I have to wake up super early for work, so I feel like I have to go to bed super early, which really I don't. I just keep feeling like I do.
It's the same as this job, the last job you had.
No, it's not. I don't live like 2 minutes away from this job, and I can't.
I've been doing that forever.
I just
travel
told
the
you
same
I've never
distance
done it
as
before.
you.
I've never done it before, dumb ass. You've been working at this job forever.
It's the same as what I do.
You're not listening to me at all, so we should move on in this conversation, I think.
Alright, well, I'm just calling you a fake horror fan and a quitter.
Dude, I'm not a quitter. I'm just, like, being honest with the listeners. I'm saying, hey, I've been tired lately, but once I get the hang of the job and I realize what time I really should be going to bed, I'm going to watch more movies. And I even said I've been depressed because I haven't been able to watch more movies.
Nothing worse than a quitter. Maybe an Indian giver.
A what?
An Indian giver? That's probably racist.
That sounds very racist. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. It was a term that kids used to say when we were kids. Where, like, let's say, like, this dude down the street was like, I will trade you one copy of Sonic and Tails, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, for Mortal Kombat 1. And I'd be like, alright, I like Sonic. Why do I keep saying Sonic and Tails? I like Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And honestly, Mortal Kombat 2 is better than Mortal Kombat 1. So I will trade you, even though I probably already had Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So this story really doesn't work too well. But I would be like, here you go. And then next thing you know, his dad's pounding on my door saying that I have his game. And like, I hate when people say it like that, because it's like, no, we have each other's games, or now we have our own games because we traded. But like, it sounds worse than it is, because like, he has my son's game, like I just jacked it, and then that's what an Indian giver is. It's somebody who gives you, I guess that's not really a fair analysis, because that's like an Indian trader.
Yeah.
An Indian giver would be somebody who's like, you're on the playground or whatever, and this kid gets like a new ball or something, and he's like, here, you want my old ball? And I'm like, yeah, I don't have a ball. And I take it and go home, and then he's like, hey, I'm gonna need my ball back. And I'm like, well, you gave it to me. And he's like, yeah, but I want it back because it was mine. And I'm like, okay. That's an Indian giver. Fuck them guys.
Yeah, fuck Indians.
Yo!
Buddy, that's what you were essentially trying to say, I think.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
But
Anyway.
yeah, you are one step above an Indian giver.
I will take that as a compliment, buddy.
No, I'm saying you're a quitter, and it's like,
No, I'm not,
it's
dude.
almost nearly as bad as an Indian giver.
I'm not a quitter, dude.
Dude.
Like, you're a fake Netflix and chill fan.
Why?
Because you've watched the move and then you don't tell me.
I've been tired lately.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay, so that's why we haven't recorded.
That's why I haven't been watching movies.
No, because you're a quitter.
No, you're annoying me. And I hate you. There's a love heart at the bottom of my screen for some reason. I don't know why, because I hate
What?
you. I don't know, on the bottom of Skype there's like a love heart
Really?
for some reason. Yeah, I just updated Skype, and it's
done
weird.
that.
I don't know what it means.
Probably means that you love me.
I hate you. So, anyway.
So, what are we doing today? Today, this morning, this evening, whenever you're listening to this?
Well, glad you asked. We are doing a film called Still/Born from the Shudder today.
Yeah,
And I
so
picked
this
it.
was your pick,
Yes.
and I actually suggested this film to you, right?
You did, and then I think after you did, Austin actually told me that he coincidentally told me he watched it, and he was like, "Hey, if you have a chance, you should check this movie out." So I was like, "Oh, we should probably do that then," since
Yeah,
he seemed to like it.
We've had a history of baby-related horror films on the Shudder shows that we've done, or not just Shudder, but like the Netflix and Chill show that we've done. I believe our third episode, something we did. Shelley, we did we do Shelley?
That was the second episode, yeah.
Yeah. Anti-birth.
Yeah, I
Then we
forgot
had
about that.
a baby themed episode. We did I watched Baby Blues. We both watched what was that one? Baby Blood.
Baby Blood.
Was there another one in there too? That was
Yeah, Prevenge was was the main one we were trying to do, and then we tried to throw in Baby Blood because it sounded like a cool double feature. But you were on Netflix watching some Baby Blue movie, and then you're telling me about it, and I'm like, that's not at all the movie that we were agreeing on.
Yeah.
So then you ended up reviewing that one by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was pretty cool though. So we have a long history with baby or mother themed horror movies, and I'm a fan. I like most of them.
Yeah, me too.
Even Shelley, I liked.
Yeah, it was a little bit slow, but it was all right.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the new Shudder exclusive. It's a few weeks old by this point, but check it out. We're gonna review it here in a little bit, but first I wanted to talk a little bit about some things that have went on since the last time we recorded. So I believe, talked about Joe Bob coming back in the form of a 24-hour marathon. Did we talk about that on this show?
I honestly don't remember. I feel like we had to have, because our last episode wasn't that long ago, and I feel like that was probably a current event, but I actually can't remember.
Yeah, and that was exclusive to the Shudder Network, US only, and I watched it. I watched the entire 24 hours of it. I didn't make it to the 27-hour mark, which is what it actually was, but it was Joe Bob hosting movies on Shudder, classic Monster Vision style. It was announced earlier in the year that he would be doing something in June or July. Friday the 13th happened in July, so it seemed like the perfect time. Shudder does it big, does it similar to how they've used to do it on his last two shows, which was like the Drive-In something, which I wasn't alive for, and then the Monster Vision on TNT. So that was extremely cool that they announced that would happen. Jeremy from 22 Shots had the idea to do a 24-hour marathon along with it, like streaming. He was crazy for suggesting that, but we ended up doing it, and we did do it. We left a half hour early, but that was only because our recording could only last 8 hours, and the way that we started like 15 minutes early or something like that, we would have had to start a new stream, and it would have only been like a 15-minute stream, so it just seemed pointless to do that. But we did it. It was pretty crazy. And you watched a lot of it. You participated in a little bit of it. We had guests on. They did fantastic in terms of numbers. We had always between 20 and 100 viewers. I would say 50 is where we mostly had. And by the
when
end
you first started up, it was like 90, 95. I was like, holy crap, they're famous.
Yeah, and we had, I think, like over 3,000 views total since the videos have come out. So that's pretty cool. You can watch them. They're on Mood616's YouTube channel. I mean, obviously it's 24 hours, so they're not the most entertaining all the time, but I heavily suggest that there is great moments in those.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I couldn't stop watching it, and I'm glad you guys didn't give up. Even though I felt like you should have at some points, because like you were both looked miserable and tired. But like,
Jeremy
I still
was
didn't want
down
you to.
morale a little bit because
Yeah.
First of all, he hates people. So like when we started having guests on and stuff, he got like really bummed out.
Yeah.
And then people
He
were
did.
giving him shit too, so he was a little bit bummed out about that. But other than that, I mean, it was. I don't blame him for being. He handled it way better than I thought he would, and honestly, he did a good job. Considering the length.
Yeah,
of
he
time
was
we had to
funny.
talk. Yeah.
But yeah.
So, that went over well, and it actually went over a little too well. So, this is kind of interesting because Jeremy actually said this leading up to it all week. He said that Shudder's servers are going to crash. And if you've ever played a new video game, like a new Call of Duty comes out, you go to the midnight release, you get it, you come back, the servers are effed. Like, everybody can't get into games. It's like some of the Call of Duties last a week or longer with that happening. But so anytime there's like a big event with the Call of Duties or something like a new one, the servers usually crash. And he called it on this, and it happened. The servers crashed. It would not work at all. Like nobody could do it. I think the only people that were getting in were people who owned Apple TV. So some people were streaming it on Twitch. So a couple of us watched it that way, like through piracy. I mean, we own Shudder, so I don't feel bad about it at all.
Yeah.
And we pay for Shudder, so whatever. And that, eventually, I think after the first movie, I think like right at the end of the first movie or like right at the beginning of the second movie, which was Sleepaway Camp was the second movie, the servers came back on. So, that was pretty cool. And we ended up not really having many problems the rest of the night. Into the morning, into the afternoon. I heard that they did crash again later in the day, but I couldn't, I don't think it happened to me or, what. But yeah, it was pretty sick. There was a lot of movies. I've never watched that many movies in one day, ever. Seriously. I've never watched that many movies. It was insane.
Crazy.
It was damn insane. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I stopped paying attention to movies around like the 8th movie or something like that. Maybe a little bit before that, because I was just burnt out on watching movies. Honestly, the hardest part, if I ever did that again, I would buy I actually bought a new computer desk almost specifically for this event. If I ever did it again, I would need a better chair, like an ergonomically correct chair that's not old. Because, my God, that was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever done.
That was funny as hell whenever you just became a chair at the end of it.
Yeah, I rode a bus from like Florida to Pennsylvania, you know, a multiple day journey, and it didn't suck that bad.
That's sad.
So anyway, just to let everybody know what it was Tourist Trap, which I didn't watch. I was kind of excited for that one too, because, you know, they honestly didn't. I've never seen that film, and they only hyped 3 films. They hyped Sleepaway Camp, Basket Case, and Tourist Trap. Those were the 3 they showed clips to that were confirmed. The film after that was Sleepaway Camp, which was definitely the funnest watch out of everything. And they had Felissa Rose on. Joe Bob was great. They had Rabid after that, which was a Cronenberg film I hadn't seen. So that was a pretty good movie. I need to rewatch some of these, honestly, because like I paid attention to them, but at the same time I'm talking over them and stuff, so I miss things. Any of these ratings I wouldn't, you know, fully, you know, commit to. After that, we had The Prowler, which honestly, that one started off really good. The kills were great, great TNA, just good stuff all around. And then it just came to a screeching freaking halt, man. It was so boring. So that was one that I would rewatch, but maybe not love it that much. Then after that was Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball-orama, which I've heard of for the longest time. I knew Linnea was in it, and there's a lot of, you know, TNA in that one, and it's pretty cool. Joe Bob had a funny quote where he said the reason this movie was successful is because of the ratio of having like 6 chicks and 3 dudes in it. And I was like, makes sense. So that one was pretty cool. You know, that was, at this point, that's the 5th movie. So Daughters of Darkness started, I want to say between like 3 and 4 a.m. or somewhere around there. Boy, oh boy. It may have been even like 5 a.m. or something. That movie brought the whole marathon to a screeching halt. From 1971, it's like a lesbian vampire film. I could see why that movie might be interesting if it started the marathon or was the second film, you know. But to put it deep into the marathon like that was just brutal. You know, this is like probably the halfway point at this time, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to watch that movie at all, you know, close to the halfway point, I think. And then after that was a little bit more refreshing because it was Blood Feast. Now, Blood Feast is not a great movie. It's Herschel Gordon Lewis, but it is a interesting movie. And this was Joe Bob's best that he was all night, probably. He was given so much information on Blood Feast, so much history. It was like, it took me back to the 90s when the reason that I watched this stuff was because I knew you couldn't get this information super easy like you can now. And I was surprised that even with the amount of information that's out there, he was still able to spit some knowledge that was interesting that nobody else could have known. Like stuff that personal experiences with, say, Mr. Herschel Gordon Lewis. And I just thought that was really, really cool of Joe Bob. Really cool, you know, monologues and stuff like that. I really, really, really dug the show, and he did a good job on Blood Feast. And then right after that was Basket Case, which I'm a huge fan of. I love me some Basket Case. I always have. Such a good movie. Really, 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 really solid. And it's a 1982 flick, which was pretty cool, you know. So I've already watched it this year, but I don't mind watching it again. And then here's where I tuned out. Reanimator. This was literally when I tuned out and was just kind of burnt out on the whole thing. Which actually, I watch a lot of movies, so
Yeah.
that's actually not too bad of a spot to tune out on. I think this was like in the more like 11 a.m. or like noon or something like. I can't really remember. My it might have been like 1 even. I couldn't remember. The times were so weird. And then that Reanimator's good. I seen it for the first time recently, so it was still pretty fresh in my memory. Then Demons was after that. Classic, good, fun stuff. And then I knew that the next movie was going to just drag the marathon, and that was The Legend of Boggy Creek, because that movie's transfer is really god-awful. It's an interesting movie to watch, like, one time, but this was my second time seeing it, so I wasn't very interested in that. And then finally, Hellraiser, which was a good way to end the marathon for me, because I love Hellraiser, and they did show pieces after that, but like I said, I fell asleep. Joe Bob was killing it on Demons as well. He was talking about the history of the films and how weird it is and stuff like that. And then Hellraiser, he had a lot of cool stuff to say on that one as well. So, just a fantastic showing. I remember going to sleep at like 11 p.m. that night and really just being very confused. It had been a very long time since I've stayed up for 24 hours straight, and even maybe the first time that I've ever stayed in the same place while doing it and, done the same thing the entire time. When you do that, it trips you out. You get a really weird mental fog that's going on where, one, you're delirious, two, you're just extremely exhausted, your body hurts, but also it feels like you're missing time. So it feels like, because you've been sitting in the same place so long and being awake so long, it feels like it's the same day. It doesn't feel like a whole day has gone past. So the rest of the week I was off by a day. It was very weird. I noticed it yesterday when I got home that I just now feel completely normal, which is insane because, it was such a weird thing, man. I mean, it didn't help that I had to work the next day, not the next day, but like the next after the marathon, I had to go to sleep and wake up for work. It really jacked me up.
Like, so the night you went to sleep, you had to go to... Wait. Like, you went to sleep that night and had to go to work the next day, or you were off and then you had to go to work the next day?
No, I had to go to sleep the next day. After staying up for 24 hours.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. I was supposed to be off, but...
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah. So, anyway, that was the marathon. The final note on that is that actually they announced today that Joe Bob would be returning again.
I saw that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to actually watch some of that because I really didn't.
Please do. I started rewatching the beginning with Tourist Trap. I want to sit down and actually finish it, but I wanted to see the start of the marathon. But yeah, so gonna definitely watch all of them because they are all available in individual episodes right now, which is really cool.
Well, it's funny. The other night I put on the street, what you guys were watching the Joe Bob thing on, and Sleepaway Camp was playing, and I was just laying in bed on my phone app, and I just clicked on it just out of curiosity of what was playing, and then I couldn't stop watching Sleepaway Camp, and then finally I was like, I gotta go to bed, it's like midnight, but and that's the one I did watch during that marathon, so it was just stupid, but I really like that movie.
Yeah, I love Sleepaway Camp. It's definitely probably in my top 25 now.
Yeah.
There was another little bit of news that came out regarding Shudder, and it was that Creepshow, the iconic horror anthology, is going to be brought back to life as Shudder, as a Shudder TV series. Director is going to be Greg Nicotero, of course, from The Walking Dead fame, special effects artist, KMB-FX. But yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Because he worked on the original Creepshow with Romero, or actually Creepshow 2 maybe? I'm not sure. But this is supposed to hit in 2019, so next year. But really pumped that Creepshow is going to be an anthology television series. That's freaking... Man, Shudder's just fucking killing it, dude. I literally love Shudder. And I try not to cuss too much on here because I don't really... Like 22 Shots is the cussing place, but fuck. I love Shudder.
Oh, I didn't realize this wasn't the cussing place.
Yeah, I try to be more,
everybody.
like, safe for work, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I actually... Odd story is, when we created 22 Shots, I actually tried to pitch to the guys that we should be a non-explicit show. Yeah. Not for me, honestly. I don't...
Hard not to,
I can
let
easily...
stuff slip. I used to
cuss.
not, and then I don't know.
Working with us.
Like, after I got out of high school and, started working, for some reason, I started swearing a lot.
Yeah. So that's happening in 2019. As of right now, it's San Diego Comic-Con, so there's, a ton of... news and stuff going on, so I wouldn't be surprised if more Shudder news came out. But yeah, they're bringing back Joe Bob again later in the year, probably. More details will follow, so that's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Alright, so do you want to get into Stillborn?
Sure.
Alright, Stillborn came out February 9th of 2018. Has it really been that long? Or was that... No, that was the premiere, I think. Yeah, it came out in May on Shudder, I believe.
Okay, it feels like it's been that long, honestly.
Oh, really?
At this point,
Dude,
I don't know
sucked.
for sure when.
Maybe it was.
It might have been. I don't. Yeah. It just feels like it to me because I watched it a little bit ago, and then people were talking about it before I watched it, but I don't know for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. It was directed by Brandon Christensen, also partially written by him. Thus far, he's only done shorts, and he did a TV miniseries called Black Ice, which I had not heard of.
Yeah, me neither.
And then the co-writer was Colin Minihan, who actually has done a couple of things as a director. Oh, that's actually one of the Vicious brothers, I believe. So, yeah, he wrote and directed a few things. He wrote Grave Encounters and Grave Encounters 2. He directed Grave Encounters. He also directed Extraterrestrial and wrote it, as well as It Stains the Stand Red and What Keeps You Alive, which I don't think is out yet. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because I loved Grave Encounters 1 and 2. They're really good found footage films.
I still haven't watched them.
I think they're on Shudder.
I think they always used to be on Netflix.
Yeah, the DVD was actually... I have the DVD for the second one, but the first one's a little harder to find now for a cheap price. But yeah, so he was a partial writer on this one. So I think he's part of the the Vicious Brothers. Was that what it was? The Vicious Brothers, yeah. Which I'm not too familiar with, but whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were the writer and director. And as for Brandon Christensen, like I said, he didn't do a ton in terms of directing, just a lot of shorts and that one TV miniseries. As a writer, let me see if he actually did anything other than what's there. Writing credits, more short, yeah, pretty much the same thing. But yeah, do you want to hit us with the synopsis?
Yeah, real quick, I was just on IMDb, and the trivia says that the baby who plays her son in this movie is Brandon Christensen's niece, and the production of the film was scheduled around her birth.
Whoa.
That's kind of cool.
That
and also,
is
it's a girl playing a boy baby.
Peter Pan shit right there.
Yeah, but anyway, okay, so Mary, a new mother, gives birth to twins, but only one of them is alive. While taking care of her living child, Adam, she suspects that something, a supernatural entity, has chosen him and will stop at nothing to take him from her. That is your synopsis.
Okay, yeah, so, It sounds cliche and basic.
Yeah, it sounds, honestly, like, when we were talking about doing this movie, and I kind of looked into it, and then even when Austin said, hey, this movie's really good, I was kind of like, okay, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. Like, I was thinking maybe it would be like a pregnancy horror, because that's kind of like what we've been doing, really, when it comes to baby horror. It seems like it's always revolving around just pregnancy, but this was like a ghost type of story, so I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to like this, but,
yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually, little story, we were going to do this like a month ago, and I had watched it and not even, like, barely paid attention to it at all, like, was just on my phone the whole time. I just couldn't get engaged. So I was like, you know what, I honestly like, literally couldn't even review it because I didn't pay attention to any of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to rewatch it. But because I felt like I had watched it, but I really didn't, I didn't feel like doing it again. So that's what took me so long to finally get to it. And then it just clicked one night, man. Sometimes you just gotta turn your fucking phone off and sit down and just watch the goddamn movie, you know?
Yeah.
And I have it, I use my phone as a complete crutch when I'm bored.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it just
for me,
looked basic as hell to me at first, where I was just like, I didn't even want to give it a chance.
Yeah, I know. I know you said, like, it looked like something you had to be in the mood to watch, and it is something you have to be in the mood to watch. I'm not saying it isn't. Like, you have to want to watch a spooky type of movie, or, like, a ghostly type of film, but...
Yeah, but you don't even know that that's what it's gonna... Like, you do, but, like...
Yeah,
there's
you're right.
a difference between, like, a ghost movie and, like, a scary movie. Because, honestly, most ghost movies can be scary, but...
Yeah.
Like, if they're not, then they really need, like, some cool characters or something like that. But this film is actually very scary. This is the scariest film I've watched of the year so far. Last year it was Annabelle 2 was the scariest movie I watched. But yeah, this movie actually is scary. And I was like, dude, that is awesome. I love a movie that can scare me. So right away, this movie is good. It's no matter what. If a movie scares you repeatedly, it is a good movie. End of story. There's no debate there.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny, like, I had the opposite, because I, too, had to give this movie a second watch, just because I had watched it and paid attention to it that first time around. So I watched it, what was it, like 2 days ago, and watching it then, I wasn't paying as much attention to it, because I'd watched it so previously, or so soon after or whatever, and I already knew what was going to happen, so I was kind of on my phone, but at the same time, I took that opportunity to watch some of the spooks, because I was hiding behind my hands the first time around.
Dude,
I
you're
get
such a baby.
Dude, I get so scared, and I'm like sitting on my couch alone at night, and I was so spooked.
That's the best. I love
But buddy,
that.
I don't have anyone to protect me, so I was scared,
Protect
and I was
your
scared.
goddamn self.
I can't. What if the ghost? It's a ghost.
First
it's
of all,
gonna hurt
ghosts
me.
aren't real. Second of all, if they were, ghosts playing asses.
Dude, you ain't there to whip their
dude,
ass, though.
I'm saying if they were haunting me.
Okay, dude, good for you. But I'm saying I'm a girl, and I'm vulnerable, and I'm scared, and so I was kind of hiding my eyes during the spooky parts. But when I watched it the second time, I was like, you know what? I'm immune to this movie. I already know what's coming and what's gonna happen. So now I'm gonna actually keep my eyes open during these parts, and I got spooked once again, but like in a different way because I actually watched it. So
Yeah.
that's my story.
So, this woman basically lives with her husband. Is it her husband or her fiance?
It's her husband.
Okay. And he seems like an extremely successful guy. I mean, this house that they're living in is insanely... It's gorgeous. Like, that's the first thing I noticed. It's an immaculate house. Like, that is an expensive house.
Yeah.
So he
man
must
bought
be
that house.
really, really successful, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like he's so successful that his job is very important to him, and he leaves his wife to take care of the child. One of them has passed away. Do they say that? I can't remember.
It's the very first clip of the movie.
Oh, they say that we lost one?
No, it's like the very first clip. She's giving birth. They're holding the baby. They give it to her, and then like it's another clip of her giving birth, and like that time like her like face kind of drops, and the nurse kind of just looks at her, and then it comes up saying "stillborn."
Yeah,
like,
it's
symbolizing that it's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little subtle though. I must have not paid attention to the first clip that much because that usually happens with me,
Yeah.
unless they engage me like right away. But I did notice that like when she was in the nursery, they kept up the other bed
Yeah.
and the other child's name, which I don't remember what it was. It wasn't Adam. It was
Thomas.
Thomas. So that's eerie for one, but it's also very traumatic to look over at that all the time if you're her, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, besides that, it just starts getting spooky eventually. Like she sees the baby monitor and sees like a person in the room with the baby. And then of course when she goes up there, the person's gone.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other, she's starting to hear noises and stuff, right?
Yeah. I was just gonna say like, and you know, Austin like told me this ahead of time, but like that 100% reminded me of Insidious. Just that first.
Oh yeah, for
that
sure.
first spook.
Me too. That's the
was
first thing I thought of. Yeah. And there's like one where she's laying in bed and looking up at a vent, and you know, I'm not gonna spoil everything, but
Yeah.
there's something creepy that happens there. So it's kind of, you know, cliche in a way where it's just different scares. But I think what really sets this one apart from others is one, it's actually scary.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I think that I was feeling legitimately like the baby could die in this movie,
Yeah.
which helps.
Yeah.
Now, good.
I forget what I was gonna say. Well, like I was just gonna say like there's some effects in this movie also that kind of like ghostly effects, I guess, that remind me of something out of the, you know, the American Grudge movies and things like that.
Yeah, that was the one thing I
feel
didn't like.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like people hate on that, but to me, like I see why it's like bad and cliche, but for me that always has creeped me out no matter what. Like The Grudge has kind of aged badly on me, but I don't know, seeing it in this movie I was kind of just spooked by
to
it,
me,
but I can
I'm
see
more
why some
scared
people
of just an old, like a woman that's standing there scary looking. Whenever they
Yeah.
start contorting and it looks very fake, that's when it's like, and I can understand that it's otherworldly or it's a ghost, so it's like doesn't apply to the laws of our physics, but it just, I don't know, it looks bad. Like I feel like that effect is hard to pull off in a realistic way. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I feel you.
but they don't. It's very small in this movie. It's in the hallway when she's backing up towards the staircase. That's the only part where I think they go a little too overboard with it. It was like it was scary, but I think that if they would have just toned it down a little bit, it would have been better for me personally. Now, this movie is successful on its tension building, its actual scenes. There's actually a part that I thought was really well done. It's shot really well too. There's great camera angles. The lighting is amazing, like especially in the hall when the lights keep dimming and she's walking backwards. As well as there's some helicopter shots. There's some shots over the river or the lake or whatever that are really good, really make you feel like you're watching a movie that seems very high budgeted. I think that there was a little bit, you know, left to be desired in terms of the actual storyline. Did you feel that at all?
What do you like? Just you felt the story was lacking?
Well, like I just wanted more of like what was happening, like why.
Yeah, like I feel like I don't know. I was
like, did it have anything
like,
to
they
do
give
with
an
Thomas dying, or is that just?
That's what. Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to. That's what I'm trying to like say. Like there is a small thing that's trying to like link that, like an explanation. I guess it's supposed to be that this demonic thing killed Thomas and like wants to eat her other baby now because that one got away. It actually lived, but like I feel like they kind of rushed it because the first time I watched it, I kind of missed the point of it, and I was like, why is this have to do with like the stillborn and things like that. But on second watch,
Wait, why does it have to do with the stillborn?
Because like she goes to that like old lady or whatever and finds, and that's where she like kind of finds out that this is a special demon, like a legend behind this demon that it preys on newborn children, I believe, and it's supposed to suggest that it killed her first baby Thomas, and because there's that part in that recording where it's like, oh, your first baby was so yummy, and like I can't wait to eat your other one or whatever.
Gave me cold chills.
Yeah, putting him scared.
Yeah, so there's also another dynamic played in this movie, and it's playing on the fact that postpartum depression,
yeah,
and the fact that it might be all in her head.
Yeah.
And it very well, I'm not going to tell you which one it actually is, but I will tell you this, that I found it pretty much I found it pretty, I knew what it was the whole time. I never questioned myself, is what I'm saying, without spoiling anything.
Yeah.
Did you?
No.
Or did they have you guessing?
Like towards the ending, I feel like I was kind of like not 100% sure about what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like I felt like it felt like it was a pretty basic story towards the beginning, but then like once you get to what's going on towards the end, that's when I thought like, oh, maybe this might be something different.
Yeah, I was almost certain that it was going to be what I thought it was, and it was. So, I don't think that it was too good at telling. I mean, it was okay to have there because it does leave a little bit of questions, but I think at its heart, that dynamic of is she crazy, is she not?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think that one of my favorite scenes is definitely the axe chopping the door scene where she leaves her baby in the bathroom and then the door shuts and it's in the bathtub and the bathtub is still filling up.
Yeah.
That's pretty sketch.
Yeah, and it's really like the axe part is like really creepy.
Yeah.
Like something that she does, but just the way she is acting. But what do you like her in general as a character and how she's acting?
I do like her.
Yeah.
I didn't like her right away, but she grew on me. I think she fits the look very well.
Yeah, like towards the end I was getting maybe a little bit annoyed by how she's acting, but like at the same time it's believable how she's like overacting a little bit, like overreacting to situations and like think she's putting things together in her head and like kind of going crazy. Like clearly she's losing her mind and it's very believable, but that was getting on my nerves a little bit, I guess. But like it is believable.
I love when she flips out on the baby.
That was funny.
Dude, I was like, holy F.
I actually,
her mom was like,
her mom, freaking mom character. Yeah. Like, I actually laughed out loud at that part. Yeah, that was pretty good. But overall, I like her. And then, the whole movie, I was trying to figure out who the dad character was. It was driving me crazy. He actually played in Tucker and Dale versus Evil as the douchebag Chad character.
Really?
Yeah, and he actually, like, I was like, oh my god, he does a good job of playing. He does a pretty good job. He can like fit roles pretty well.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I thought he was good. I thought she was good. I liked the neighbor. Very small cast of characters in this one.
Yeah.
I think that this movie, honestly, it's just mostly effective scares. Some people, I mean, they're kind of jumpy scares, but at the same time, they're not boo scares, which are, in my, those are the fake, like, cat jumping out of the closet scare.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think? I mean, do you think that the scares are really well done?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's why I really, really love this movie, is because it's, like you said, it's the scariest movie that I've really seen so far this year, and I feel like you don't really get that as much nowadays. It seems like movies are either horror comedies or horror dramas or like more artsy and stuff like that. And I love those movies too, but I feel like it's been so long since I've saw, well, scratch that. I mean, I've seen like the new Insidious and like Annabelle and all that, but I feel like you just don't see those genuinely scary movies that I would have popped in middle school or high school just to be creeped out nowadays. So I really liked it for that alone. Like I said, on rewatch right away, it wasn't as effective, but like I said, I tried to make myself watch the scare so I would still get some effect, but I feel like it's not one to run back to right away necessarily, but at the same time, I thought it was really, really effective.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie, man. I don't think there's a ton to say about it.
Yeah.
It's, kind of a simple film. I don't know what people I'm actually curious to know what people would not like about it.
I'm not really seeing many people talk about this one either.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at my Letterboxd, I have people that have rated it 2, 2.5.
Oh.
3.5, 3.5, and you have the highest rating
Uh-huh.
Out of my friends.
Yeah, I could see why people wouldn't love it. I see it maybe as generic or something like that.
Yeah.
But for me, it just depends on what you like, I guess.
Yeah. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Ratings?
Yeah, I'll just go.
I'll go first.
Okay, you can.
Okay, you go first.
Well,
Good. No, go ahead.
This is awkward. Okay. I really liked this movie. I thought it was really creepy, really effective. Really enjoyed the characters. Like I said, only complaints are maybe the main character sort of started to annoy me a little bit, and maybe the story felt a little bit rushed and didn't really give you the main point that up front or anything like that. But other than that, I definitely recommend this one, and I give it a 9 out of 10.
Cool. Yeah, this is definitely a top 10 contender for me. I'm coming in a little high on this one, not quite as high as her because, I just am a little lower, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
This is the first movie I watched in 5 days. Which is pretty crazy because, like, it was funny. I was looking over my July totals on Letterboxd, and I had amassed 28 movies by the 14th of July, which is like 2 movies a day.
Yeah.
And it's because of the marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah. 12 movies in a day. I've never watched that many movies in a day. Ever.
That's freaking insane. I don't even think I've ever been up for 24 hours after you said that.
Think of us watching our 4 movies at the drive-in.
Uh-huh.
Now quadruple it.
I would kill you, and then myself, and then everyone there. Well, no, I would kill everyone there, and then myself.
Wouldn't work.
Yeah, but yeah, we would hate each other by the end of that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Stillborn was pretty cool. It is my turn coming up here. I know Castle Rock's coming out, so I kind of want to see that.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
me too.
So that might be something we do. Go back to TV again. But there's also there's like a ton of new Shudder exclusives on Shudder right now. And I think there's some stuff on Netflix, but I don't think there's anything. I think there was like a few things. It was so funny when we took our break. Like there was so much stuff coming out.
There always is when we take our breaks.
Yeah, but Castle Rock comes out this week, guys. So
oh wow, I didn't realize it was that quick.
Yeah, the 25th. You don't have Prime, so I'm gonna have to let you borrow my Prime.
Oh yeah, okay.
Or is it Hulu? No, it's Prime, right? No, it's Hulu.
Oh,
it is Hulu.
Do you have?
I'll have to let you borrow my Hulu as well.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So the 25th. Is it gonna be? Are they doing like episode by episode format, or is the whole series gonna be available? Oh, it's only 4 episodes. Okay. So here's the thing. So it looks as if the first 3 episodes are gonna air on July 25th, and then the 4th episode will be like a week later. So I'm not sure. They'll probably like pump them out slower, maybe.
Yeah. I was assuming they'd put a whole season on, but that's usually Netflix that does that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll check it out. But there's a ton of people in the show. Bill Skarsgård is in it.
Cool.
Sissy Spacek, Terry O'Quinn. Tons of people who were in actual Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah, that's cool. Like,
is
people
neat.
like Sissy Spacek. I saw her, like, in the preview. I think that's pretty cool to have her come
Yeah.
back after all the time.
Yeah. So, we will definitely check that out. It might not be our next episode, but it'll be an episode for sure. Once the full show's out, that's when we'll cover it. And there's something new just came on Shudder this week, I think. So, maybe I'll pick that. There's always Black Mirror season 2 as well, but I think I'll save that for later.
Yeah.
Anyway, another episode down. My food never came. That's
I know, I was sitting here
concerning.
I was sitting here like watching the time, and I was like, it's been like an hour, and he said he ordered that before we started, so.
Yikes.
Well. Anyway, guys.
Oh, did you ever get your refund for MoviePass?
Yes, I did.
Me too.
I thought I got ghosted by them, but they did give it back, so props to them.
Yeah, props to them.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm sure they were overflooded by much more angry people than us. So, anyway, guys, that was episode number 19. Thank you for joining us. As always, I am Carly, and that is
JP,
yeah, and we are out of here.
we are Netflix and Chill
We are.
Horror Podcast.
Yes, that too.
All right, see you guys next time. Deuces.
Peace.